You don't want to ghost, but you don't want to be in the relationship anymore, and you don't know what to say or how to start the conversation, and you certainly don't want to hurt the person. So how are you supposed to end a relationship and still be nice about it? Welcome to my Broken to Brave podcast. I'm Donna Barnes. So you want to break up, but you don't want to be the bad guy, and you don't know how to do it. It's not easy really to hurt somebody. No one ever really wants to hurt somebody. So what are you supposed to say? How do you bring it up? How should you break up with somebody the right way? Give me 10 minutes. I'm going to give you 6 specific actions to take so that you can feel really good about how you end the relationship. Make sure you stay to the end. Breaking up with somebody isn't that easy, which is why ghosting has become such a big thing. Ghosting is a horrendous way to leave a relationship, but I completely understand why it happens. You're feeling all sorts of things that you don't know how to share. And then time goes by and just, look, I've been guilty of this, just not from relationships, but on dates. Like there was a wonderful man that I met right as I was leaving New York. And I had a very nice date with him. And I thought about him for a while afterwards because I had meant to tell him that I was leaving New York, which was really the big reason why I didn't see him again. But too much time went by, and then it was too inappropriate to and I felt badly about it. Right. And I think that unfortunately happens a lot. So a lot of times people ghost because they just didn't know what to say. So that's why I wanted to talk about this today. Number 1, give them a heads up. Giving a warning that you'd like to talk about something, I think, is the best way to initiate breaking up with somebody. Hopefully in a phone call, throw it out there and say, hey, when you have time, I'd really like to talk to you about something. When would be a good time for us to sit down and have a really honest talk? And now, unfortunately, sometimes people, especially if you're on the phone, will say, I have time now. Let's do it now. Right. So be prepared for that if you suggest that, but at least now they know something's coming. You can absolutely start with all the things that are great about the person. Look, I really enjoy spending time with you. I have a great time with you, but I just have to be honest with you. I'm not feeling the same way you are, especially if you know that they are crazy about you and you're just not on that same level. I think that's a good place to come from in saying, hey, I just feel like your feelings are so much farther ahead of me, and I'm really not there yet. And I just don't know that I'm going to get there. I don't really see us being a long-term romantic couple. I think that's a really nice way to let somebody down. Depending on how long you've been together, being honest about where you're coming from and what you feel. Number 2, don't leave any hope. Be crystal clear that you're done, because hope can be a really destructive emotion. And unfortunately, when people break up with people, they don't want to hurt their feelings. They don't want to say something that would cause them, but they leave the door open by doing that. Trust me, because people come to me for coaching and they're all filled with hope that, well, he said this and that, and they feel like the person's coming back. And then I'm the one that's like, I say to people all the time, I don't say this to hurt you, but because I know it's going to hurt them, because it's really clear to me that no, they're not coming back. So if you're contemplate breaking up with somebody, that's where I'm coming from. Make it really clear that you're not coming back so you don't leave that hope door open, which is really painful for people, and it keeps them stuck right there in limbo. They don't move on because they're stuck on you. And to that point, while you're saying, can we be friends? Number 3, you cannot be friends. I don't think it's healthy to be friends with somebody that you know is crazy about you if they're still really pining for you. That works for you because you still get the friendship, but it's really damaging to them because that's not what they wanted. They're crazy about you, right? They want to be romantically involved with you. And if that's not what you want, eventually you can be friends. But to be friends right away is really difficult for the person who still wants the relationship. Once you both move on and have other partners, then I think, yeah, you can be friends. But it's really hard to watch somebody you really care about date somebody else, right? So be careful but in having the conversation, it's better to say, I see us as friends, and let them decide that they don't want to be your friend. Now be careful, because depending on who the person is, and if they tend to have a little manipulation side to them, they might say, yeah, okay, we can be friends, thinking that you're going to change your mind. So you need to be really clear about the fact that I just need you to know this doesn't work for me. I'm not open to a romantic relationship with you. I know it's hard to say that, it really is, but years ago I made a video called Don't Let Your Best Conversation Be Your Last. That's if you still really care about the person. And look, if you've been in a relationship with this person, I assume that you do still care about them. Usually it is your best conversation is your last, because you're leaving the relationship. So you feel like there's no consequence to saying what you really feel.
Number 4, be kind by being very honest.
Be honest without hurting their feelings. There's no good point in just saying to somebody, I'm just not attracted to you, right? Like there's no value in that. I think it's better to say in a way of, I don't think we're right for each other. But, what do you do if you actually are really right for each other? You're just not feeling it, right? As they say. I think that's kind of what you say. It's the old, it's not you, it's me thing. Yeah, if that's true, say what you really feel in a kind way, not criticizing and not saying anything that your ex can't change. Anything at all that you think would be constructive criticism, that is something that they can change. If they ask you, then go ahead and be truthful about that. If they don't ask you, don't pick them apart. If they don't ask why, what happened, what's wrong, then there's no need to make them feel badly about anything at all. If you're just not attracted to them, they can't change that, right? And they may jump through all sorts of hoops trying to get you to be attracted to them, right? So I think it's never helpful to tell somebody you're just not attracted to them. But you can say, we don't have the kind of chemistry that I wish we had. Just don't feel it. I'm sorry, but I really want to find that with somebody, and I don't think it's you. It's really difficult to hurt somebody's feelings, but the more honest you can be, the more helpful it is to them in letting go and moving forward and not staying in limbo of hoping that you'll change your mind.
Number 5, you're thinking about their feelings.
You come from a place of, look, I don't want you to get hurt. I know that you really care about me, but I just don't feel that same way. I don't want you to get hurt thinking that I do. And I know it's really hard to say that, but I promise you it's the compassionate thing to do. It really is. I think it's a real gift. And honestly, too, years ago, a friend of mine had been dating this woman for quite a while. He said he knew she was crazy about him and he liked her. He enjoyed her company, but he could tell that she was really much more crazy about him than he was about her. And he asked me what he should do about it. And what I said to him was kind of what I'm saying to you, that she was much further ahead in her feelings and that he felt like the relationship was unbalanced. It was just too much for him, that he really didn't feel the same way and that she was much farther ahead with her feelings. You don't want her to get hurt.
Number 6, do not let it linger.
You don't want to leave somebody in limbo, hanging on, pining for you, hoping that you'll come back. And being friends with somebody that you want to be romantic with gives that person hope. They're being friends with you because they hope that it's going to lead you back to being in a relationship together. So that's not your intention. And don't linger in something that you know is really not what you want. It's really not fair to the other person whose feelings are getting deeper and deeper and deeper. If you know that you're not going to stay in this relationship, you really need to tell your partner as soon as you possibly can so that they don't get deeper into it. It will make it harder and harder to let go. I really do think it's relative. People say, how long does it take me to get over something? And it is relevant to how long you've been together. And yes, people get swept off their feet, love at first sight, as they say, right? That's hard to get over no matter what. But if you've only been together for a month or two, it's much easier than if you've been together for a year or two, or even 10 months, right? Be compassionate and think about how you're potentially hurting your partner. If you want out, sit down and have a nice conversation with them. The old, it's me, it's not you, is the best way to break up with somebody. Slam that door shut so that they don't live in limbo, hoping that you're going to come back. Please do me a favor and like my video. And I like reading your comments. Leave me a comment if you want. Or if you have a question about something that you'd like me to make a video about, I'll see you in my next episode. Thanks for watching.